How to recognize a swindler. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Namam dushkita namuta prabhajante naratana maya pratagyana asura bhavanashuddha. He doesn't surrender to Krishna, that's all. As soon as he's not Krishna conscious, he's a swindler. Simple. He's not surrendering to Krishna, he's a swindler. Is that good enough? That's stated in Shastra. Shat karma nipano vipro mantra tantra visharada avaishnavas gurur nasyat vaishnava swapacho guru. Even a dog eater can become a guru if he is Krishna conscious. He may come from a family of dog eaters, but if he's Krishna conscious, he can become a guru. If he knows the science of Krishna. Ye tattva Jai Krishna Tattva Venta Shai Guru. And Shat Karma Nipano Vipra Mantra Tantra Vishara. He may be very expert in all sorts of mantras and rituals, but if he's not Krishna conscious, he can't become a bona fide. Okay? What else? Hare Krishna. What else? What other questions? Yes. Yes. Understand.
How we can increase the bhakti life?
How we can
increase our devotion.
chant Hare Krishna. Hare Nam, the chanting is the thing. And it's like, no, isn't there something else?
No.
Isn't there something more? Isn't there something more? Is this just chant Hare? No, this is it. Chant Hare Krishna. That will increase your devotion. And when you're chanting, try to avoid 10 offenses. Chanting attentively. That will help us advance.
How can we get the Nam Ruchi?
Yeah, by chanting attentively. Nam Ruchi, how do you get a taste? By chanting. If you don't chant, how will you get a taste? And if you do chant, you will get a taste. Chant and serve. Chanting is not just theoretical. Chant, hear, serve. Is that all right? And in the association of others, you'll get a taste. Next question.
There are various gurus and acharyas. They are coming out and they are singing Vaishnava songs, and they are more like they show themselves that they are more Krishna consciousness, and they are
Other groups means
other gurus.
Gurus.
Yeah, there are many bogus gurus in South India. We find many people are there, but they chant Hare Krishna mantra. They sing the Vaishnava songs. They also explain. Sometimes they also teach Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. But
and then the next day they do Shiva Katha.
Yeah.
Then the next day they do some other Katha.
Yeah.
This is how you can tell.
Yeah.
Krishna says, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Just me. So, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Always thinking of me, not Anya. Ananya. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana Paripasita. So when you see that it's simply Krishna, then that's the thing. But Tuesday it's Krishna, Thursday it's Shiva, Friday it's Devi, Sunday it's Kartikeya or Skanda, Morgan, something. And you can understand it's not Ananya Bhakti. Something mixed with something, mixed with something. They're kind of like shopkeepers. They've got everything in stock. You're interested in Shiv, we've got Shiv. You're interested in Krishna, yes, we're chanting Hare Krishna. You're interested in Durga, yes, we're doing Durga Puja. We're interested in this, yes, we're also doing that. Like a good businessman, they have everything in stock. But that's not Krishna Bhakti. Right?
The question was that there are so many disciples of Prabhupada and somebody fall down and then he was having a disciples, but the disciple never knew that my guru has fallen down, but he continued his bhakti throughout that life.
He continued what?
Bhakti throughout his life,
Uh,
and he followed the bhakti path. So what will be the destination of the disciple?
this is theoretical. Is there any such case?
He don't know the case. He don't know the case, but he's asking.
Yeah, but there's no such case, so why are you asking about the case that hasn't happened?
You want to have knowledge. And
Yeah, but you want to have knowledge about what hasn't happened.
And actually saying that not Prabhupada, okay, any other guru.
But it hasn't so happened. There's some difficulty, everyone comes to know.
He's saying that outside has happened, yes. See,
Outside?
outside, it's gone, not in ISKCON.
Oh.
Outside there are.
Anyway, Krishna sees that, all right, this person may be some discrepancy, but he's trying. So Krishna will help him. If he's sincere, Krishna will help. That's It's not like Krishna's a lawyer, everything is technicalities. Krishna sees the heart of the person. Is that all right? Okay. Some other question?
What is the difference between devotion and respect?
Devotion and respect?
What is the difference between them?
Devotion and respect. Respect is formal. Just like you may respect the police. Right? That doesn't mean you're devoted to the police. Right? So respect is formal. But the mother is devoted to the child, but she has no respect. My dear child, I offer my namaskars to you. No. There's no respect, but there's devotion. Sometimes there's devotion and respect. Just like the servant. The servant may have great devotion for the master and also great respect. So in Vaikuntha, that's there. They have great devotion and respect for Lord Narayan. In Dasya, serving mood, devotion and respect. But in Goloka Vrindavan, with the cowherd boys, Nanda Yashoda, gopis, there's still greater devotion, but there's no respect. Boys are playing, you stole my lunch, you're a nonsense rascal. They're telling Krishna. No respect. And Krishna likes it more. Respect is easy to get, but that kind of devotion, there's more taste. Something else?
What is the parameter in which we can judge our advancement? Whether we are advancing spiritual consciousness and spiritual life, or we are getting degraded? Or what is the parameter?
How you lose your taste for Maya. The more you're getting a taste for Krishna, the more you lose your taste for Maya. You can understand you're making progress.
Practically, we get bewildered that having we get bewildered whether we are having any attachment to the Maya, that is material thing, or we get in a very
We can assume we have some attachment from Maya.
Even after that, what is the parameters like? What are things which whether we are even little bit progressing, something like that.
You can see at different stages. Just in the beginning, someone may not even be following the 4 basic restrictions. So when he starts to follow, that means he's making progress. Someone's not chanting. Now when he starts to chant, he's making progress. Someone's not reading the books. Now he starts to read, he's making progress. Now he's getting more taste from chanting, more taste for reading, more enthusiasm, he's making progress. Everyone can understand.
How one can decide that for taking initiation, like how one can make out that now the time has come, now I should take initiation.
How you're prepared to surrender. If you're not prepared to surrender, then where's the question of initiation?
At one point of time,
Just like Arjuna, he surrendered to Krishna. Now, you tell me what to do. That's Treyasyan Nishchitam Guhitam. As long as I think, no, I know what to do, then, but when we're willing to be controlled by the spiritual master, then we can think about initiation. When we're just like doctor, if you're not prepared to, as long as you think you're doing okay, and you're not really going to, what he may tell me something, but I'll follow it if I want to. That's not. When you're convinced that I need help, actually, whatever the doctor tells me, that's what I'll do. Then. But there's no need getting initiated just as a fashion. Everyone else is initiated, I'm not initiated, I should also be initiated. It's not for style. But when I'm jigyasu shreya uttama, when I'm serious about understanding the ultimate goal of life, then I should approach a guru. And after examining that guru, Sri Jiva Goswami says that the guru should examine the disciple for 1 year at least. And the disciple should examine the guru for 1 year. Then they can see about initiation. Not just, love at first sight and then everything's in 5 minutes. Is it okay? Something else? And I wonder who else has a question.
I want to ask, I don't know, in the starting when you and your brothers when met Prabhupada, you all were very young. So how was it to accept Prabhupada as master and surrender? Like, what was the things going on in your mind when you first met him, and what was the reaction like when you first got into Krishna consciousness?
Oh, there is so much junk in my mind. You don't want to know about it all. The purpose of approaching Prabhupada was to get free from all the things in my mind. All garbage. Prabhupada said about us that the one thing was that we didn't have so many preconceived ideas. Here in India, everybody thinks they know everything. Yes, I know Krishna. And they have so many misconceptions about Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, interpretations, this, that. We had we were more fortunate, we were completely ignorant. That's better. Completely ignorant means you can learn something. Prabhupada gave some example of a music school. If you don't know it, it was a very high-class music school. So if the student didn't know anything, they'd charge him quite a lot of money. And if he already knew something about music, then they would charge him double. And first they have to unteach him everything he thinks he knows. So we only got the normal charge because we were completely ignorant. Mm-hmm.
What actually convinced you? Like if somebody from other country comes and tells us that this is right, and it's very difficult. Like if an Indian person tells us this is right, an Indian guru, so he's from our country and he knows. But if somebody comes from a country where you even don't know which country and what initial conviction, how do you get?
Our country, it doesn't enter into it. The scientist, if a scientist comes from Germany, do you say, well, wait a second, he's from Germany, what does he know about physics? It has nothing to do with Germany or India or America or any place. It's a science. But the science you can get anywhere from the person who knows. Not a question of country.
I mean, like when he came here, practically nothing, no money, and like an old man.
Yeah, we weren't looking for money.
Okay.
He didn't have any, and we didn't need any. That wasn't the issue. We were looking for spiritual knowledge, spiritual truth. Prabhupada was giving. And all the same rubbish people that you have here were there also, bogus swindlers. There were so many in America. They were not very satisfying, all their rubbish philosophy. But when we met Prabhupada, we got the real thing. I met so many people, you ask them questions, and you can like punch a hole in their philosophy very quickly. But with Prabhupada's philosophy, there were no holes to punch. So that was any question. I was convinced so much by the questions. People would ask questions, boom, 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 answers were there. So that was very persuasive. I was used to be one of the people who would, put the questions, boom, 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 and then, But they were not defeatable. Philosophy was consistent, sensible. Yeah.
How does your conviction in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada, become strong?
How does it become strong? You follow the process and it becomes strong. Just like how do you become strong physically? You eat. And no one has to give you a certificate that you're becoming stronger. You'll feel how you're becoming strong. Right? You eat nice grains and you'll feel strong. So by chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasadam, all of these things, we're feeling how we're becoming spiritual, more advanced. It's practical. No one has to tell you. As we know, there are different religions. Hindu says Krishna is supreme God. Muslim, Allah. Christian, Jesus Christ. But actually, who is the real God? So, real God means supreme, Param Brahma, Parameshwara. These are useless controversies. Krishna is supreme. No, Allah is supreme. No, this. You have to know what is God, then you see how the division, these names are not important. Like someone says, Pani is good. And someone says, no, Jal is good. Someone says, no, water is good. What is the difference? Pani, Jal. You say Pani, or you say Jal, or you say water. The substance is the same. So you have to know what is God, not just fight about the names. Not just the question of name. What do you mean Allah? What is your understanding of Allah? You have to ask Him. What is your understanding of Jehovah or Jesus Christ? You ask him, what is? It's a science. What is God? What is your idea? Generally, there are two sides. It's not a question of Christian, Hindu, Muslim. There's personal and impersonal. There are some who understand that God is a person, and there are some who take it that God is no form, no qualities, no name, no. So we have to understand what is God. Actually, from Bhagavatam we understand very nicely. He has his impersonal feature, he has the feature within the heart, he has the feature as the Supreme Personality of God. So this is the real thing, to understand God, scientific, just like water. Not a question of the name, but if you're a scientist, what is the chemical composition and so on, or what are the characteristics of the water? That's the thing you have to find out, not fight over the names. We are working, and at the same time we are engaging in devotional service for the spiritual path. We come across many hurdles in spiritual as well as material life. How to overcome these hurdles? Well, the hurdles in material life I can't tell you, that's beyond my area of expertise. If you're having a financial problem or a health problem or something, I can't help you. Sorry. Spiritual hurdles you overcome by chanting Hare Krishna. That's all. Chant Hare Krishna and continue the process. Machchita sarva durgani mat prasada turishyasi. In Bhagavad Gita, where is that? 18th chapter? 1858. Krishna says, Machchita sarva durgani mat prasada turishyasi. Ata chaitam ahankaran nashoshasi vinangshasi. If you think of me, then sarva durgani turishyasi. You'll overcome all hurdles. Mat prasada, by my mercy. Simple. Think of Krishna, depend on his mercy, and overcome all hurdles. Right there in the book. Krishna guarantees. You think of me, and you'll overcome all hurdles. Sarva Durgani means all the hurdles. Turishyasi means you'll overcome. But atachet tvam ahankaran nashoshasi. But if you don't listen, and you just rely on your own false ego, then vinangshasi. You'll be finished. Okay. Next question. Sir.
How can you find Shuddha Bhakta?
Look.
Is there any sign of...
How can you find? You have to look. In the Bible it said, seek and ye shall find. You have to look. If you're sincerely looking, then Krishna will help you. He'll send you to a Shuddha Bhakta. Shuddha Bhakta's symptom is he's completely engaged in the service of Krishna. If you read Nectar of Instruction, you'll find all of these things are described in shortcut. How many verses? 12 verses? 11 verses. Nectar of Instruction. And practically all of these questions, like the ones we're getting this afternoon, they're answered in 11 verses. Even fewer than 11 verses, because some of the verses are more advanced topics. How we see. He says, Nindari shunya hridamipsita sangalabhya. His heart will be freed from the propensity to criticize others. Shushusha shaya. What is that? Shushushaya bhajana vigyam ananya manya. He's expert in Hari Bhajan, chanting Hare Krishna, serving Krishna according to the principles given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Shushushaya bhajana vigyam. He's expert. That's one quality of a devotee. He's expert in serving Krishna. No other business. Not all. Yes?
In Krishna consciousness also we have different societies. All of them are preaching Krishna consciousness. But if you find one of them saying ill about the other.
One of them what? Speaking ill of the other?
Yeah. So the disciples of that society who is speaking ill of the other societies who are also preaching Krishna consciousness. Can those disciples be recognized as a true devotee or a true guru?
Those disciples means which disciples?
Who are saying ill about the others.
These things should be avoided among the Vaishnavas. Speaking, the tendency may be there to see among the less advanced devotees that these are competitors or these are to criticize. But we should try to associate with those who are above these things. There's no profit from criticizing the other Vaishnavas. We should just try to do better. Yes.
How can we develop our devotion towards Prabhupada?
Read his
How
books.
can we increase our devotion towards Prabhupada?
Read his books. Follow his instructions. You'll naturally increase your devotion to Prabhupada. Read his books, follow his instructions, take guidance from his followers. Yes.
Maharaj, what is the mood in which we have to take Chaitanya and
Humble.
Renounced and the all these three things which advances the devotee, Mahaprasad, Chaitanya and the rest of the devotees?
Yeah, that means humble mood.
Why in Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Or greedy mood is also acceptable. There was one, Kalidas. He was so greedy. He wanted to get the prasadam remnants of as many bhaktas as there were in Bengal. Wherever there was someone, he was a devotee, and Kalidas somehow or other would make some scheme to get his Mahaprasad. He was a very greedy man. So that you can get it that way also. You can be very humble. You can be very greedy. Somehow you should be after Krishna's mercy.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu allowed only Kalya Krishna to take his remnants and Chaitanya and actually this is a shortcut which will advance
This is what? Yeah, I got the first part, then you started speeding up, and then everything got lost.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita,
Yeah.
Krishna was allowed to take the Chaitanya and Mahaprabhu gave the Jagannath, that is remnants of his prasad to Krishna. But he didn't give it to others. But Mahaprabhu is a merciful form of Krishna.
Yeah.
So why he didn't?
I'd have to look at that pastime and see what the commentary was for that. I don't recall that section. But it doesn't mean no one's getting, but he's showing special mercy. That's all. Special case. It's not that we're reading that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was stingy. He wouldn't give anyone mercy. But sometimes he would give extra mercy to Kaliya Krishna or to some selected devotee. Is that all right? Okay, another question. We only have 10 minutes more. Time is going fast. Write quickly. Not complete, okay.
Maharaj, like in ISKCON, we have many gurus, and sometimes, like, what should be our mood? Suppose I have chosen one guru as my Diksha guru, but what should be our mood of looking towards ISKCON and the society, and how will it,
You all know these things because your family, Indian families, still have some culture. So you should know these things. America, everything is uncultured. But here, suppose you have your father, so how do you deal with your uncle? Huh? Everyone knows. I don't have to tell you how you deal with your uncles. You know these things. You're all coming from good families. Right? No one says, oh, you're only my uncle. You're not my father. You're only my uncle. Does anyone feel like that? No. So you already know these things. So these are like spiritual uncles. The spiritual uncles should also be very affectionate to the nephews. Nephews will naturally have affection for the uncles and respect also. Yes?
We are worshipping the deities at the house. So we have the mood of in ISKCON we follow the Madhurya mood, but Madhurya Rasa, that mood of Madhurya. We tend to become close with the deities and we start playing with the
No. The deity worship is not like that. It's not that we're in the mood of service.
Dasya Rasa. We have to follow the Dasya.
We have to, not a question of this rasa, that rasa. Our deity worship means simply we have to, actually it's under the rules and regulations. We simply follow. Their deities should be worshipped with great, actually, this question was there, deities should be worshipped with respect. Devotion and respect. And when you're on the super spontaneous platform, then you can worship simply with devotion. But even then, generally we see that to set the example for others, even those who are on that high platform, they worship with respect. And internally, because you're worshiping, over time you'll get some realization. But if we cheaply think that, oh, here's Krishna, and my relationship with him is like with the gopi or this, that. We're just trying to get some of the junk out of our heads. And if we think, imitating all of these advanced stages, first we should purify our hearts, get free from the bodily conception of life, get free from our nonsense, and follow the process. If we follow patiently, then the real thing will come. And if we try to skip, then we'll not get the real thing. But okay. How are we doing on questions?
Maharaj, actually, I also had this same question. Like in our house, Gopal is there, small Gopal. So sometimes, in the worship process, we become so intimate that sometimes we buy chocolate and toffee for him. So
sometimes we
buy chocolate.
Buy chocolate.
Chocolates and toffee for Gopal.
Oh.
Toffee. This is
Why we don't? Not aparad exactly. Krishna, he can eat chocolate. It's not a.
And you
chocolate can be taken
by Krishna.
Actually, to Radha Krishna.
But the real thing is, this chocolate is not the real thing. This chocolate is like a Western thing anyway. Here you are. in the best place for sweets. All over India, it's famous, Bengali sweets. And you're going to offer Krishna chocolate?
Actually, Maharaj,
You have rasgulla, rasmalai, sandesh, so many things, gulab jamun, burfi, and you're going to offer chocolate? Maybe next thing is you'll go someplace and open a Bengali sweet shop, and someone will come and you'll say, "No, I'm sorry, we're only selling chocolate."
Actually, Maharaj, towards Radha Krishna, still some respect thing comes. But Gopal, sometimes we take him for granted that he's a child and we give chocolates and we do a lot of pampering.
Even taking him as a child, give him rasgulla, sandesh, white chocolate. Unless you think he's an American child, why give him chocolate? But it's not. Naturally, we can think that Gopal is a child and so on, but to actually develop the feeling, parental feeling and so on, is not such an easy thing. It's not just by saying, "Oh, Krishna is so cute," and I'll pinch his ear or something. We should still worship Gopal. We should understand that this Gopal is the Supreme Personality of God. That Gopal, he's asking that now I'm, forget this Indra Yagya, we want to offer the puja to Govardhan. And here are the things you offer. And he gives the big list. But chocolate is not mentioned. Yes. At what stage should one understand that initiation is necessary for them? Initiation is necessary, but when you're ready to follow. If I'm not ready to follow the discipline, what is shishya? Shishya, disciple, comes from shasthatu. So shasthatu means control. Just like we have shastra, shastra. So the human being is to be controlled by shastra, and if he doesn't follow, then he can be controlled by shastra. So shishya means one who agrees to be controlled by the spiritual master. If I don't agree, then there's no need of initiation. Simply as a show. But if I'm ready, that now, yes sir, what you say, I'll do, then initiation. Yes?
As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement was to give love of Godhead to everyone without any distinction. And we also see that as Prabhupada has shown, our senior Acharyas of ISKCON also doing preaching. But when sometimes we also have to go to preach. At that time we see that we are not able to convince others, some are not interested. And we can find out that it is actually our lack of purity within us that we are not able to convince others. So, and that is what should we do?
Keep trying. If you can't convince them, of course, some people are stubborn, obstinate. Even a pure devotee can't convince them because they're determined. What is that? Matir Krishna Parato Svato Va Vipadyeta Mito Vipadyeta Griha Vratanam. Those who've taken a vow to stick to material life no matter what, it's very hard for them to ever to understand what is Krishna. You may be the purest pure devotee, still they've decided to be anti-Krishna. But still we should think that if I were more pure, then at least some of these people would take it. So it's practice. Just like in the school, maybe for giving speeches you practice, and at first you're not very good, but gradually you become a good speaker. So in the same way, we're trying to learn the philosophy, we're trying to learn some of the verses, we're trying to be able to present the arguments nicely. So in the beginning we may not be so expert, but you do it, and gradually you're expert.
But sometimes you also feel that if some other senior devotee would have went to this person, which I am going, it would have been better. And due to my inability, he will never take to Krishna consciousness. So may have.
So become a senior devotee. You go on preaching, and one day you'll also be a senior devotee. Huh? This is how it works. Just like a doctor. In the beginning, the doctor is not so expert. He thinks if the more experienced doctor had taken care of this patient, the result would have been better. But he has to go on, practicing. One day he'll also be the senior doctor.
Maharaj, what is the meaning of Radha?
Radha means Krishna's internal energy. Now, time has come. My orders were that at 5 o'clock I'm supposed to go. Upade. Let's take a quick look. Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru question. You look in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first chapter. Whoever's question that was. Your question is answered in detail there. I could say something, but time is gone. Good questions. Well, how can I rectify from offenses done on the lotus feet of Vaishnavas unknowingly before coming to know that it was actually an offense? Well, it's hard to rectify an offense that you don't know about. So, what can be done? You can assume that you've committed offenses and try to be humble to everyone. And I think that's really the end. I have to follow my instructions. Thank you for having me down here.